Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So today I want to kind of go ahead and explain a little bit about how the Atlas works for those of you guys who kind of entered mapping, are already mapping, or haven't started mapping. And this is kind of just going to be like what I've come up with from it. Obviously I don't, go ahead and look into everything and research it too crazy, but I've played around with a little bit of it, nothing too crazy with the progression, but I kind of want to explain to you guys how it works, like I was saying, and if there's any benefits in kind of that. So, essentially, you have one of the first 4 tier maps, so you've got 4 corners in your atlas. You've got your 4 base tiers, which would be Crystal Ore, Desert, Arcade, and Jungle Valley. Now, one thing to note is, majority of these bosses, like 85% of them, have been reworked and or modified and or swapped out with another boss. And layouts of the maps have changed quite drastically in a positive way. Maps have a lot less dead ends now. There are still some there with, their old clunky layouts, but for the majority, very good overall. So, the way it works is when you're in a jungle valley, alright? When you're in a jungle valley and you go through it, you have a chance of getting a beach map because it's adjacent. If you get a beach map drop, right, and you clear the beach map, and you unlock the bonus, you see the bonus would be the check mark there, that map can now drop globally as long as you're in a map that can drop it. So what I mean by that is, like, say the beach is a 69 map and you're running a 68 map, you can get a +1 and it can be a beach map, right? Does that make sense? Kind of like old times. Once you're in beach, you are eligible to drop marshes and Vol Pyramid. But marshes and Vol Pyramid can only drop if they're not completed if you're running a beach. Now these are completed. So an example of an uncompleted map would be Vol City. My Vol City can drop if I run Burial Chambers, if I run Catacombs, or if I run Arachnid Tomb. They can drop out of any of these. I mean, the chances of it dropping out of them I don't really think it varies. It's just if I'm running it because it's adjacent, it can drop. Once I run Arachnid Tomb and clear it, it says kill boss of rare version of this map, and that checkpoint goes boom. Now, this tier 6 map can drop out of any tier 5 and above map, basically, or I don't remember if they still have +2s off bosses. In the middle, you can see your overall progression, and you get a 1% increased chance to find a map with a higher tier, basically. So there's nothing necessarily wrong with completing your whole atlas at once, unless there are some things that people tell you. What I've been kind of doing is I've been skewing it a little bit to force myself to get certain maps. So you can see I've got Canyon as a tier 6, right? The only other tier 6 I have besides Canyon is Quarry, and that's it. And I just unlocked Quarry because I want to expand now. Meaning, if my game rolls a tier 6 map drop, it has to be Canyon or Quarry, and for the longest time it was just Canyon. So if you get a tier 6 map drop, it's guaranteed to be Canyon, and you can do the same thing with Strand or Mountain Ledge, and etc and etc and etc. And it's really cool because you kind of choose what kind of maps you want to run. If you're going for an overall progression and whatnot, it's a little bit different. And remember, you could always buy these maps if you get stuck. I personally don't like the idea of being able to buy them, but I understand that people can get stuck. I myself am doing my own way of progression with my own game mode. But simply put, it's really cool. The thing I like about it is it's a tracker. A lot of the times when I play Path of Exile, there are things I always say, like, I wish I could see this, I wish this could happen, or if you want to play, Self-Found, I wish I could, check something to be it, but you can't. Well, in Atlas, this is one step to a future that I was not expecting, so I'm very proud to say that I'm extremely happy with this, because it's an actual progression thing. Now, there is more that you can actually do to this. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of just brick one of my things here just to show you guys. Let me see, what maps do I have a lot of? Primordial Pool. Okay, so let's pull out a Apprentice Cartographer Sextant. This can add a mod to a white map in the Atlas. So what this means is, if I go to my Atlas, anything that's white can be augmented by this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this probably on Primordial Pool, because I feel Primordial Pool will also hit Canyon, based off of how close it is. I could be wrong. I don't think it actually shows me, but let's go ahead and put it on. Unfortunately, it does not actually hit Canyon, but it does hit Waste Pool, Phantasmagoria, and Burial Chambers. Now, you can see what this adds is it says 30% increased quantity of items found in unidentified maps. So on top of all of the affixes you already roll on your maps, if you're running a map that's within this circle, you can see they get the buff, right? Not this one. You get this additional bonus as well. Now this additional bonus can never be negative. At the most it can be, I guess, positive and negative. So for example, I had one earlier that said monsters take 10% increased physical damage. You take 10% increased physical damage. So nothing is intentionally there to hurt you. I mean, obviously it can, you know, like if you're a caster, that doesn't really help you unless you're physical based. But it's really cool to see what you can play around with. Now, I was also told that you can stack these effects too to have multiple effects overlapping on one, which can make for some really, really cool and creative stuff. That pretty much explains that. Now, again, maps can, I believe, start dropping at the end of Cruel, if not, I know for a fact, the beginning of Merciless. And you guys can kind of decide how you want to progress your Atlas. I would recommend trying to finish off all the low tiers before moving up to the high tiers. The only reason why I say that is when you're running low tier maps, you're still getting more efficient experience compared to running them at level like 90, for example, and you're overall boosting your quantity or your chances of getting a map at a higher tier when you run your higher tier maps. So for me, for example, I'm trying to go ahead and like knock out Dungeon, knock out Grotto, knock out Dunes, Villa, vice versa up here, Chanel, Acid Lakes, Pit Map. I'll probably leave Racecourse because I like my T6s. I'll go run Cells because I actually have a Cells. Ashenwood, I don't know what this is. I'm still trying to learn the Shaper Orbs. This, guys, I can't tell you yet because I haven't gotten to these Shaper Orbs yet. This is going to be coming soon for me. But I hope you guys like it. You know, like I said, I'm much more pleased with this expansion than I thought. On paper, it was not explained. I did not understand it anywhere near to the extent of I did now. And these are also league specific, so that's pretty cool. To be honest, I don't really care about the challenge league. I care more about this. This is definitely a lot more fun for me, you know, seeing a visual challenge in front of me like this. So I hope this helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions or need to voice some concerns, please feel free to drop them below. One thing I would like to clarify, because I didn't understand that at first, so I'm just going to briefly explain it again. Okay, say I'm in a spider forest and I haven't completed spider forest yet, right? So I'm in here, but I haven't completed this yet. I can still get the adjacent maps. So of course I could get Spider Lair and go backwards, but I could also get Tower, I could also get Armory, and I could also get Mud Geyser, which allows you to basically skip that map if you don't want it. So you could run Spider Forest as a T6, but never actually kill the boss in a rare map. You can only run magics, and you could completely skip it and go to the next one. I'm 99% sure that's how it works. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. Just clarify in the comments. But I'm pretty sure this is how it works because I was testing it out the other day. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Hope you guys are having fun with your Atlas builds. Please, you know, drop them down in the comments below. Let me know what you're playing as well. I'm curious to see kind of what everyone's take is. And as always, hope you guys have a wonderful time. Remember, you can catch me streaming live every day at twitch.tv/Pohx. Have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.